The person that I was before my experience at All Nations was one who desired to live the life of faith that I had always heard about. I'd always heard about faith, grew up in a church where faith was very prominently positioned and often stated, but it felt fairly safe. Hebrews chapter 11 talks about a lot of individuals that exercised great faith and what God had called them to do. And it just felt like there was a little bit more for me to exercise in the realm of faith. My first All Nations experience was actually at the Mother Church, All Nations Chicago. I was seeking and searching for something more and truly running after God in a way that was causing me to leave my comfort zone, as often those who are chasing after God have to do. And through a friend of mine, I was introduced to Dr. Stevenson's ministry in All Nations Chicago, and I started to visit when I could. That experience was life-changing, I would say. You know, it's really interesting to be around people that are full. I'd gotten really used being around people that were hungry, that weren't being fed. But this was the first time that I'd really experienced a church full of people that were eating good. And it was incredible. My personal experience with grace started with some of my first services at All Nations Chicago. Dr. Stevenson was in the midst of a series entitled Road to Romans. And this was the first time that I experienced the gospel of grace. I would say for me, that time in my life was incredible, but also very emotionally challenging at the same time. I'd been in church my whole life, 30 plus years at that point, and I had never heard grace preached in the way that Dr. Stevenson was preaching it at that time. And in a way, I like to refer to that time in my life as the great confrontation. Truth encounters lies, and lies can't stand when the truth was as overwhelming as Dr. Stevenson was at that time when he was delivering the gospel of grace in that Road to Romans series. And I'll be honest with you, it was tough initially because I had to sit with the reality that I had been in church my whole life and I didn't know much. I'd been in church my whole life, and there was a lot that I still had to learn. As emotionally challenging as that time in my life was, praise be to God that it happened at the communication of the gospel of grace. I would say now, my life and giving grace to others as a partner of All Nations Worship Assembly, I truly remember the time where I was in a graceless relationship with myself. I didn't know to give myself grace because I truly didn't understand the concept. So everyone that I come in contact with here is one who I would at least consider could possibly be in a graceless relationship with themselves. And I look forward to the opportunity to share the grace that I was so generously given. I am graced to love at the capacity that I feel. I'm one that feels everything deeply. And being a part of All Nations has allowed me to love others through the love of Jesus Christ in the way that I feel it in my personal relationship with Him.